a Capricorn rising. I also have a South Node in Capricorn. So it's super fun. Capricorn, the messages for July 2024. I'm MJ, I'm the founder of Ultra Love. I can see very much, and I had my first proper big astrological reading when I was in my early 30s, and it really transformed my life. And part of that recognition was, up to that point, I kind of only knew about the sun sign and hadn't really looked into it too much, but was interested. And I learned about the ascendant and that I had a Capricorn ascendant. I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Very entrepreneurial, a little bit workhorsey, quite disciplined, like really just like working. It's when you find what you enjoy, certainly. Okie doke, so divine guidance and loving clarity. I do offer private readings. Feel free to check out the description. You can also join the Patreon account. Patreons get a weekly reading alongside ad-free first access for the large majority of the readings that I put out there. Divine guidance and loving clarity. This is for the Capricorn energy for July 2024. Divine guidance and loving clarity. Let's see what we get for Capricorn. There's a collective energy for a lot of the signs about new energies really wanting to come in. You have 9 of Cups, a wish fulfillment, and a new beginning. This is after probably laying the foundation with something that's possibly been quite difficult, challenging, or you've wanted to cut something out, or you're getting messages that are like, troubling, difficult with regards to foundational stability. So this is like maybe something that you've been working on or wanting to create foundation with that you're actually having to cut out or walk away from. Let's get more clarity on that. But again, there's a divine purpose, because what you're being asked to walk away from, even though it would appear that there is a foundation, but if you walk away from that foundation, there's like a wish fulfillment, new beginning coming in, which looks really promising. Maybe it's like a job you've been working at that you've put some substantial like trial period, or you've been working for 3 months and then you don't get the job, kind of thing. Because this could be a situation that feels like, oh no, God, I thought I was doing good work there. I thought that was definitely like the direction I was moving in. And then you get a message of like, sorry, this isn't the right fit, or there's definitely something in the work, in the day-to-day, in the realm of your working life that's possibly shape-shifting, that you're walking away from, that mentally could feel like a little bit disruptive. Yeah, so there's some major arcana coming in as well. This is like intuitive awareness, higher energy, higher self, like following, heeding that call, feeling divinely guided, feeling connected, getting certain like wisdom messages that help you feel okay about walking away from something. I think it was Sag that just got this, like the Hanged Man energy is here as well. So again, I think a lot of us collectively are in different areas of our lives that are shape-shifting, or like the old ways of doing things that aren't quite working. There is a reason, and it is something about our spiritual connection, trusting in the divine, trusting in that spiritual connection. And maybe for some of us, like seeking it out. Maybe for some of us, going to a spiritual teacher or a psychic or whatever it might be. Right. So for some of you too, you've possibly felt a bit stuck. Hanged Man. You're moving away from Hanged Man, but I'm getting a strong feeling from it, like this has been substantial, like you've maybe felt stuck for a while. like just waiting for the illumination, right? Because this is, you know, solid work. You're putting work in. You're creating a strong foundation. You're doing all the things you're meant to do. And then there's like this message that comes through. It's like, oh no, you have to walk away from this. We don't want you anymore. We don't need you anymore. Or you are making that executive call. Like, you know, I've enjoyed this process, but I don't think I'm gonna move forward with this company or with this gig. Sorry, gonna cut it loose. But like, don't know what. So like, whether it's that's happening or you're making the call, it's being led intuitively because there's this wish fulfillment. The Nine of Cups is like knocking on your door, wanting to come in and offer this new start. Because Ace of Wands to me is a primordial. It's like the inception of new energy, which is always a feel-good vibe, I would say. Like, we're like, yay, inspired, feeling good. Like, yeah, I want to do this thing. Let's do it. Let's have ideas. And again, it's connected to a wish fulfillment. So when this comes in, you'll be like, oh my God, this is like the thing that I've been asking for, that I thought I was working for, but I clearly wasn't quite on the right path to get the thing. Because as soon as I leave that, what I think isn't quite the right path, it drops in, it lands, it comes in. And again, for a lot of you, there's been substantial stagnation. Hanged Man energy feels super heavy to me. Like, it feels like it's possibly been years of like maybe unemployment, or years of like somehow being stuck in a certain situation. Some of it is to do with a lack of emotional clarity, possibly, or too much going on, or trying to fill up too many cups, or feeling pushed and pulled by different energies, including your own projections. I guess it's all our own projection on some level. So it's like putting to rest the confusion. Basically getting really clear intuitively of like what you really want. What's the pure wish? What's the pure wish for your life? Yeah, because the World card, it's like, okay, finding yourself amidst the confusion. Finding, I've heard this in a few of the readings as well, like your North Node. What really lights you up, Capricorn? What do you really want? And these sorts of questions, right? This is the beauty of it. These are relevant and profound for all of us. What do we so many, we break through different patterns, or we see different things, and then new parts of ourselves come through, and old parts of ourselves die away, and these sort of this oh, no, it's gone over to summer now. It's definitely summer. Is it? No, well, we're coming into the summer season. We're right near the solstice when I'm recording these. So it's like the springtime offers this newness, right? Like, and every day we can be reborn to a certain degree. So it's like letting go of all the emotional unrest or all the distractions, and just getting really potently clear of like, why are you here? And this is deep and profound because it's so unique for all of us. And this Daughter of Pentacles is making me think of like this purity and this innocence and this love and this grace and this stuff that just wants to like be, just simply be. And then it's like allowing your world to shapeshift and revolve around that, because that is the wish fulfilled, right? I think being seen, being heard, being loved, like these essential essences of what alives us, what, you know, it is that spark of life. It's not a spark of death, essentially. Like, death is an aspect of life force. You know, we live, we exist, and there's the essence of eternal. It's just so bloody divine, you know. It's so you're, you know, you're in this rebirth, and it's been a long time coming with that Hanged Man energy, again, feeling stuck, being like, because the wish fulfillment High Priestess, this is connected to like your higher self, your purpose, your like what you're here for. And I think it's really good vibratory, but that Hanged Man with some of the other energies has probably been hard work, confusing, distracting, painful, possibly. A little bit of melancholy here. Some of you also might be moving. Four of Trees reverse, I often will interpret as like uprooting ourselves to go to somewhere else. And there's a door there. So it makes me think of like, yep, there's new opportunities that might take you. I'm getting both actually for the collective of Capricorn. Like it could be short distance travel, like getting offers to be like, hey, want to get involved with this project, or hey, what up? There's this opportunity, but it means you have to go to a different state or go to a different country. But it all feels very guided by the sun, like you're being led to lighter days, lighter realms. And regardless of the apparent locality or specificity of like, again, the 3-dimensional, like putting work into something. Even when we have to let something go, there's still an energetic commitment or intention. As in, if we've set roots down, or we've created a foundation, even if we're walking away from that specific physical foundation, somehow energetically we've still accumulated experience, which has allowed us to be more stable, which is or allowing us to be more collaborative, working with other people, especially in this day and age, because so many of us, the majority of it, I don't know if it's majority or not, but like so many of us are online, and we're sharing authentically via these online platforms and broadening our potentials in the landscape of connectivity, thus grounding our potential, right? It's more quantum, it's more very much more global. That's been the kind of movement for a while, but that's also part of the fracture of the psycho-spiritual wound within the human collective, right? That I would say most of us that endeavor to want to make the world more loving and more unified and more harmonious are connecting to the heart and holding space in that separation, upheaval, as it were, to essentially, because this, Pluto's moving into the final, so it's starting to move backwards, transiting where it's gone over, and it's going to hit up against those final degrees of Capricorn with Neptune and even Uranus eventually, I think. Like all kind of coming up to these 29 degrees, which are the energetic degrees. They're quite potent. So we're still going to feel the final threads of certain old stories, old paradigms, as it were, collapsing, falling away, no longer dictating to us how we live, but instead allowing ourselves to be born from within and to create from within, right? Because that's this whole idea of we're the creators. We embody those teachings and become more, I guess, powerful creators, because it's coming from love, right? It's coming from a joyful desire of a greater state of grace, empathy, healing, understanding, right? Like the deep understanding through compassion. Okay, so for some of you too, it's been emotional. It's been probably that guilt card came through. So for some of you, there's been aspects of like healing guilt. So coming back to yourself and not worrying about all these other people, or not getting too distracted by all these shoulda, woulda, couldas of your voice, those people's voice, society's voice, whatever, has been an intense and or just intense. That's the card, is the intensity card. So I'm like, moving through these emotional storms or these emotional alchemy, or just having a really difficult time getting clear. But it's part of the process, because it's part of your personal unique wish fulfillment. When we're carrying all these ideations and perspectives and or belief systems, or wanting to make other people's dreams come true, or it pulls our energy. That's just like a siphoning of the energy, which doesn't make it as clear or potent for yourself. So now the kind of force field, or that world heart, is like, come into yourself fully. Don't worry about everything else. Don't worry about all the other things for now. Just come into the here and the now, and let the rainbow of your own treasure trove guide you, kind of thing. That's part of the intensity. Be willing to believe in your wish fulfilled, right? High Priestess. Otherwise, we wouldn't, that's again, all the teachings are there. Otherwise, it wouldn't be contained, we wouldn't have the imagination. We wouldn't have the feeling. We wouldn't even have that idea if it weren't available to us. And no, it's not always, it's really not about the outcome. Here we are, right here, right now. Can we enjoy the ride? I know, I get it, Capricorns, it's not always easy. Because you gotta work. But that's the whole point, making the work fun. I feel you. And not all of us are going to work for ourselves, and not all of us are entrepreneurs, and not all of us are, but there's an aspect of work ethic and commitment and a little bit of seriousness that goes along with the Capricorn, and intensity, right? But that's how we move. That's how we get shit done. In a sense. Yeah, there is that intensity, right? There's also this flowering card here with the Osho deck. Like I saw the guilt, the intensity, clear, like guilt, transforming the guilt of the program where you think you're supposed to fill everybody else's cup, or that you're meant to do it this way, that way, the other way, but none of it really feels aligned. And so you're like, I've just got to figure it out for myself. And that's part of the intensity, is withdrawing your energy from all those other streams and just coming into one stream of a focus. Wish fulfillment is really the big energy wanting to come in. That's connected to a new beginning, being willing to take a new direction in how you're feeling about yourself. So it's less about like what you're doing. It's more about a shift in your perception and direction and how you're interpreting yourself, also guided by your intuition. High Priestess. You've already laid the foundation, Capricorn. I'm hearing something about like consolidated. You've already consolidated the work or something. Or the momentum, maybe. Even though you might have to cut this loose and walk away from this, and it might feel maybe a little mentally turbulent for you, because because this could be again a perspective shift where you thought you were in control, or you thought you were going to have to go in this direction, and then it's like, fuck, I'm just going to have to walk away from this, or not do it like this, or not see it like this, or certainly not see myself like this, or attached to this, and just trust that new energy is coming in, because it's here. It's like Ace of Wands, Nine of Cups. There's like all this wish fulfillment guided by your higher self. And again, there's been that theme in a lot of the readings of like, we're just on the precipice of more breakthroughs. More. And so there's a sense of momentum, collectively speaking, in the next wave that is, again, consolidating the work, and then thus amplifying the higher resonances or vibrations or frequencies, which is then consolidating it, making us feel stronger and more empowered and more like on point, or like on flow, in alignment. Really, in alignment to me means in alignment with the whole, right? That's part of the divinity of it. Like, imagine that. It's so perfect that everything, even as bad as it gets, it's so somehow perfect, because it's awakening us to a greater centeredness and heart, as in a connected heart where we all care about each other. Like I for some reason, I don't, like, for most of my life, I guess I've had this feeling of connection that I've not, like, I couldn't understand. And yet, from a higher perspective, actually, or a broader perspective, there is a deeper, compassionate understanding when we actually understand more of the purpose of life on Earth. Right? So, like, again, different perspectives can offer us different ways of perceiving, and thus changing how we feel about ourselves and about our experience here. There's that Four of Trees. I'm just seeing it again as far as like, yeah, some of you might be inspired to move, or might get an offer opportunity to move. I'm gonna just shuffle that, because so that makes sense. The debilitated card, discomfort. I feel like this is more like the early part of the month. There's just a bit of intensity still that you're moving through. Feeling lucky. Definitely a singular energy for most of you. I am picking that up, that these are single Capricorns. And yet, I said it in a reading recently, sometimes all that means is that you're not focused on your love relationship. You're not focused on the partnership. You're focused on yourself. Again, if you're in a partnership, great. Just that this is where you're at. And you've probably, yeah, you've been feeling stuck. But this is a karmic completion world card. Complet. Fini. Like there's energies. So this stagnant energy or feeling stuck is not, it's closing out. It's closing out and you're coming into this, review, retrograde. I'm pretty sure actually, like, yeah, Pluto's retrograde. I'm pretty sure that Saturn's going retrograde at some point soon. So with retrogradations, this is an opportunity to really look over things, over what you've been through, over the direction you want to go, and just for you. Not for filling everybody else's cup or thinking you've got to fill all these other cups. Like legit, just like in innocence, in your innocence. Like what? After all the discomfort and the pain and the blockages, right? Or the disappointments. Like, because again, this could be you letting go of a job. Like feeling, Eight of Cups can be a kind of a disappointment energy. Melancholy. Like thinking you're actually going backwards, but the going backwards of like, no, not again, is actually leading you to the wish fulfilled and a potential move. I do actually really want some clarity on that wish fulfillment card. So, or wish fulfilled in the Four of Trees. So if there's love, that's why. As in, definitely like if you're resonating and you're moving out of one phase into another, feeling a bit boo-hoo or discomfort or uncomfortable or like, holy shit, that was a process. I've just been through something intense. And you're like, come on, universe, hook it up. Feeling the vibratory of the intuition or the high priestess. Like you've still got some dreams that could be fulfilled. Hook it up, universe. And then there's like this opportunity that comes in. It's like, well, if you move here or if you come over this way, and it could just be for an interview or a trial, then the clarity I got was the Two of Cups. So those of you that are single, this is also leading you to meet somebody. Because any of us, the wish fulfillment is like, it's different for everybody, obviously. Wish fulfillment can be about anything that just makes us, that lights us up. And also turns a Nine of Cups, which is a freaking awesome card, but it's a singular card. What's next? Right? Like most of us, when we are very, very fulfilled, when we're self-sustaining as an individual autonomous human, what's next? Sharing that with somebody, right? Like being in love, sharing all of that bounty and that abundance with other in the upright, in a sense of reciprocity and care. Nice. Hala hala Capricorn. Capricorn. Slow down. Final messages for my Capricorn. Love is supreme. This is upright. So I've pulled the Kriya card for you, Capricorn. These cards are so beautiful and the colors are exquisite. From the yogic path. So it's in the upright. Let's read from the book. Effortless flow. Stunning. Life feels like a river that you are graciously floating down with ease. You are on the path to your Dharma, highest purpose, and doors are opening for you. One connection leads to another, and things are moving at high speed. Kriya. Don't feel overwhelmed. This is how life is meant to be experienced. When you are in Kriya, everything requires far less effort. Interesting. The universe is propelling you in the direction of your Dharma and providing you with assistance to fulfill the very important role you play. You no longer have to push, but rather can surrender to the greater forces at play. Keep up the flow and don't lose sight of your greater goal, uplifting the vibration of this planet. Yeah, part of the cut, like part of this sort of shift in the middle here, something to walk away from or something that's not quite worked out. Again, it could be the perspective of how we work. It's like adopting the Aquarian mode of working smarter, not harder. Quite general. But again, there's opportunities coming in. I'm like, if you follow those flows, right? Follow that flow, those new opportunities that feel better, feel lighter and easier for you, more is going to come in. And again, these are the kind of generational shiftings of like trusting in the prowess of the inner work. And in being at these continual precipices where we don't know what's coming next, and thus relinquishing the mental control, which is part of the old paradigm, and living more in the moment and more en fleur and in trust. Because I'm looking at these top cards being like, dudes, you're on it. High Priestess, connected, abundant flow, nine of cups, wish fulfillment, feeling really good about everything, feeling really confident, feeling really like aligned. Ace of Wands, new beginning, potential for move, 2 cups, bringing love in. And again, if that's not specific to a sexual romantic relationship, those are all one-to-one relationships, upright, reciprocal, give, back and forth, which is uplifting. So much in the collective about learning the other, just distinguishing the energetic knowing, and just knowing rather than doubting, basically, with regards to energetic exchanges with people, which is beyond the language of words, and it's more total. It's the language of vibration. Check out the I'm figuring out, toying around, and I'm able to like list lots of different products on the shops now. So I'm trying to like list an array, and I'm pretty sure on your guys' link there's actual jumper with vibration, meditation vibration. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I still have it, but for a while we had tank tops that said Intuition reigns supreme. There's obviously just the live. What other ones? Vibration, meditation vibration, vibratories. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got a vibratories one. I've got a vibratories one, yeah. It's kind of this color, maybe a little bit darker. Anywho, Capricorn, my lovers, we're gonna leave it there. Have a great month of July, you guys. Reach out if you fancy a private booking. I am at the moment only doing the recorded. I find the actual channeled guidance is better in the pre-recorded readings. Plus, it means that people have a guaranteed replay and access to that video forever. But the additional option that I am offering, unless you're a Patreon, Patreons can have or book one-to-one like Zoom calls. But the additional option, which is the highest rate for a reading, which is £55, is that you can book a reading, watch it, engage, listen, and then based on that reading, any prompts you have for questions or like themes that you want to pull more cards on, we can then follow up with another recorded reading where I channel the messages based on the specific questions you have for the cards based on the first reading. A little bit complicated, but it'll make sense eventually as we work it out. And of course, if you want to do yoga with me, you can book private yoga sessions. And those usually, my yoga sessions are very, very intuitive. We almost always do movement, but I do incorporate meditation and breath work. And there's a little bit of a sliding scale, simply because over the years, people have negotiated rates that I feel comfortable with. And so that's, and of course, that's all part of working in our integrity and working with people that are earnest in wanting, any of us, that we want to work with one another. And of course, if we're not, if we don't have access, if we're living in our means and don't have access to, for me personally, that's how I work. Like if I don't have the money to work with someone, that's just how it is. And yet, usually when I really want to, I seem to be able to afford to work with those people, and or somehow miraculously resources aligned to make certain experiences happen. Straight up legit. That's part of the divine manifestation flow. As in truly, truly, in my experience, when your heart and mind and soul is in alignment, the universe coordinates and will bring people to help. Like that's so often been my experience, because I've never been driven by money. My perception of money and stuff has continually changed and morphed, but never necessarily had large sums of it. And so there's, times I wanted to do things, it would often be through literally like having, though I perceive them as angels, like people that come in, just usually like one person or two people that come in, the resonation is like off the charts, and then they just get it, and then they want to help you out, and it's truly divine from the perspective of like you just work and have to make money and da 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 da, versus like the quantum of just putting our energy into this interweb of global connectivity and finding one or two individuals in the whole entire world. Like, it's bloody profound. Oh my gee whizzicles. Gosh, I love you guys. Have a fantastic month of July. Thank you for being my friend, and thank you for showing up in a way that you do that inspires me to keep showing up, because I'm thankful for that, and because we all know life is challenging. Cool, blimey, right? Like, it's a challenge. What are we doing, and what is this divine mystery? And what I'm grateful for is that you bring joy out of me. And I often feel that through these platforms and through knowing there are people that are engaged and listening and feel an upliftment or feel a sense of clarity or even sometimes a poignancy, right? Because life, that's the full spectrum of our ability to experience this life is through the heart, and that's emotional sometimes, but that's, to me, part of that deeper awareness of presence, to hold space for ourselves so that we're not in judgment of ourselves, we're in love. And that means being in love with some of the deepest and the darkest and the most painful experiences, which is where you have compassion for so many expressions of this human experience, because the deeper you go within self, I think the more compassionate understanding you have for all beings. As like fucked up and weird as that might be, there's a deep resource of unconditional love for all expression. That means all, and even though we want to fight and hate and feel like we have to, I get it. I'm there too, sometimes engaging with certain types, and I'm thinking we got to take those people down, like, because it's painful to witness or painful to experience and be a part of, obviously. But the deeper love is like trusting that somehow there's divine learning and grace, and that believing and knowing that we're moving into a really beautiful time on this planet. We're seeding it. We've been seeding it for aeons, and this evolution into higher realms or lighter realms, we know it because we've experienced it already. Right? And the deeper truth is the slowing it down to let us be led by the heart of Earth and the cosmos and the kind of greater purpose, rather than this, the further away you get, but like rather than this very bizarre kind of control and domination, powering over each other games, like, the deflection of the heart, or the shaming and the pushing it down in a way, to prioritize separation consciousness. And so we feed that egoic division construct by remaining disconnected to the heart, versus letting the heart break down, letting ourselves be open to the deeper connectivity of the heart, again, which in my experience is the emotion, which just helps us to be in the body. Because if we're not in the body, we can't really, I don't think anyway, experience the deeper, broader psychic realms that we all have access to. Oh, holla, chameleon. Okay, we're gonna cut her out there. Thanks for allowing that space to channel those final messages, Capricorn. Thanks for being, represent the Capricorn energies. I love you guys. Have a great month, and I'll see you all real soon. Take care. Peace out.